Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the Player's Handbook, comparing the classes from 2014 to 2024. I've already done my series on all the classes in the new Player's Handbook and how they work from a fundamental perspective, but for the more seasoned players, I wanted to go over specifically the changes between 2014 and 2024. If you're playing a fighter, which is the class we're going over today, in a 2014 based game and your table decides to change rules, how do you have to change your character? Rather than just learning the whole thing from scratch again, let's do a side-by-side and actually talk about the details. How has the fighter changed? We'll get into those details here in just a moment. Before we do, though, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know you're a supporter. Also, you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. And finally, you get VIP access in the community Discord. Anyone can join my community Discord. There's links in the video and channel description. But if you're a channel member, you get automatic VIP. You get to come in the VIP room, chat with me about D&D, the YouTube channel, whatever you like. If any of that sounds interesting to you, you can click the join button. It's just down there next to the subscribe button. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. Just being here at all, watching the video, liking, subscribing to the channel, these are all great ways to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. So fighters. Fighters are one of the most bread and butter classes of D&D. They've been around since the beginning of the whole game. And most of their early features haven't changed a whole lot. They still get all proficiency in all weapons, all armor, 2 skill proficiencies. One small change to their skill proficiencies, persuasion was added to the list. Like, all the skills they can choose, they get 2, are the same, except now you can choose persuasion as well. Cool. I mean, persuasion's a great skill, don't get me wrong. I don't usually build my fighters with charisma, but I suppose if you want to, now you can. The fighting style feature is the same, basically. They are now called fighting style feats. So you can choose a fighting style feat, and I guess when you level up and get your ASI or feat, you can just choose a fighting style feat instead of a regular feat if you want to. I'm not sure why you do that, but the option is there. You still get second wind, and now you get more uses of it. You get 2 per long rest, 1 back on a short rest, and when you level up, you get more uses over time. Another new feature that you get at level 1 is the weapon mastery feature. I've talked about this at great length in other videos. Weapon masteries are amazing, and they make the utility and battlefield control of the fighter specifically, and most other martials, much, much better. The fighter actually gets 3 weapon masteries, which is more than the 2 that most characters get if they have them at all. So you do definitely embody multiple ways to hit people in the face or shoot them, whatever you want. But yeah, at level 1, other than the fact that you get a little more second wind and weapon masteries, it feels mostly the same. This changes once you get up into a couple levels. Action surge is still there, largely the same. Still gives you an extra action, once per short rest, twice at the higher levels. But now you cannot use action surge to take the magic action. No longer can wizards dip 2 levels into fighter and double fireball. It doesn't work that way. Even if this didn't say that, they've changed the rules where you can only cast 1 spell with a spell slot per turn, regardless of the action economy. So you still couldn't action surge, but now they are being incredibly specific. If you action surge, you cannot take the magic action. Eldritch Knights are sad. Wizards and other classes that like to take fighter dips for action surge are sad. But for your average fighter who doesn't have magic, they don't care. Action surge is still amazing and still works the same for most characters who, have it and you just got it doesn't buff magic anymore. So I think that's fine. I think that's an okay thing. And just in case you were a fighter multi-class of the spellcaster, and you ignored that, there is also the one spell with a spell slot per turn rule anyway. Anyway, enough about spells. The other thing you get is Tactical Mind, and this is a different use of your second wind. Normally, second wind, you roll a d10, add your fighter level to it, and regain those hit points as a bonus action. Basically, it's a self-heal. Now, you can actually use it in a different way. When you fail a skill check, you can roll your second wind die, expending the die if you succeed, adding it to the skill check. So if you botch a skill roll, you can use second wind to maybe give you the buff. A d10 is pretty solid, averaging, 5 or 6. And if you fail anyway, you don't expend the second wind. That's pretty cool. I think that is a great feature, in fact. It makes fighters more susceptible to passing skill challenges, which they usually sucked at. So that's awesome. I like that. Yeah, your subclass still comes at level 3. That's the same. You still have the same boosted number of feats and ability score increases. You still get 7 compared to everyone else's 5. Your extra attack feature has not changed. You still have extra attack at level 5. You get triple attack at level 11, and then quadruple attack at level 20. That is the same, and I don't think the fighter would be the same without it. But you do get something new here at after the first extra attack, Tactical Shift. This says that when you use a bonus action to activate your second wind, you also can move half your movement speed without provoking opportunity attacks. This just gives you, with your self-heal, a better position. Whether you're trying to get into a fight or away from a fight, it gives you that option. And it does specify when you activate it with a bonus action. This means that you won't be able to use this with Tactical Mind because there's no action economy required there. To add your second wind to a skill check requires no action or bonus action, it just happens. Whereas second wind to heal takes a bonus action, and that's what triggers Tactical Shift. So, yeah, you get more uses of it, and it does more things now. So, yeah, movement is never bad. Opportunity attack-free movement is great. When you tie it to the bonus action you were going to be taking anyway, it's just money. So this is just a win across the board. Now, Indomitable. This is famously one of the fighter's worst features. In the old days, Indomitable said that if you failed a saving throw once per day, you could re-roll that save. Considering that most of the time when fighters failed saves, it was because it was a mental save, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and they weren't great at that, meaning that a re-roll may not help. Now, Indomitable says something else. Now you can re-roll a failed save, just like before, but you add your fighter level to the saving throw. What this means as soon as you get Indomitable is that if you fail a save, let's say you're fighting the average spellcaster at level 9. Maybe they've got a spell save DC of 18 or something. And let's say it's a wisdom save, common save. You pumped your strength and your constitution and you gave yourself a 12 in wisdom. That's not unreasonable for a fighter. So you got a +1 and you're not proficient in the saving throw. So to meet a DC 18, you have to roll a 17 or better. You probably aren't going to roll that. Let's say you rolled, a 6 or something. You failed to save. You then choose to use Indomitable. You re-roll that D20. Maybe you roll a little better. Maybe it's a 9 this time, meaning that you get, 9 plus the 1 from wisdom, so that's a 10. Still a failure, but because you used Indomitable, you can add your fighter level to it, which is 9. You add 9. And this goes up as you level up. So now, that DC 18, you just got a 19 on the check, even though you rolled a single digit in your D20. You still might fail at these, when you first get it, but every time you gain a level, that's a +1 to that Indomitable save. By the end of the game, when you're a level 20 fighter, Indomitable can be used 3 times a day, and it adds a +20 to a save. Since you can't crit fail on a saving throw, you could have a -1 Let's say it's an intelligence save, and you get a -1 to your thing, and you've never buffed it. You roll a 1 on the d20. That's 0, right? No, with Indomitable, it's 20 once you're level 20. Which will pass, like, even at level 20, that'll pass most of the time. Only the biggest and baddest creatures have DCs in the 20s. So basically the way I read this is that Indomitable has changed from a Hail Mary that rarely works to an almost perfect legendary resistance point, where your saving throw now, if you fail, you can choose to succeed. It's not automatic, but it's pretty solidly guaranteed. Like, it is not a guarantee, but it is close. It is going to be hard for you to fail a save with Indomitable now. That is outstandingly strong. And if your die roll is even half decent, you're definitely going to succeed your save, basically no matter what. I love this change. It is so tough, and it gives that fighter just that extra get out of jail free card, or 2 or 3 at later levels. It's amazing. Okay. Another thing you get here in the mid-levels is Tactical Master. We were talking about weapon masteries earlier, and every weapon has its own mastery. But now, when you attack with a weapon that you have the mastery for, you can replace it with Push, Slow, or Sap. Basically shoving creatures around, slowing them down, or granting them disadvantage on their attacks. And it doesn't matter what weapon you're using. Any weapon that you have the mastery for, you can switch it with one of these 3. Meaning that if you're using a weapon that, let's say, uses the Graze weapon mastery, let's say it's a big 2-hander, you can Graze, but that only works if you miss your target. Once you hit this level with Tactical Master, if you miss your target, you Graze, but if you hit them, you can Push, Slow, or Sap, your choice. I think that's fantastic. I think that is an amazing versatility boost. It allows for combos, since at level 11 you'll have 3 attacks. So you can Push, Slow, and Sap a creature all in one turn, theoretically. Plus whatever weapon mastery the weapon has. Once you get 4 attacks, you can continue to do this. And I think this is great. This is just more versatility, and it means that no matter what fighter you are doing, whether you're ranged, a sword and board, a 2-hander, a dual wielder, there is a certain level of consistency now. If your weapon mastery is useless to you, or not going to come up in this particular attack or fight, now you have 3 other options, which opens up a lot of doors. So, really good. Then at level, I think it's 13, you get Studied Attacks, which is another new feature that lets you, if you miss a creature, your next attack against them has advantage. Mix this with a Vex weapon, and what it basically means is that other than your very first attack, you will always have advantage. Think about it. Vex gives you advantage if you hit on your next attack. This says if you miss, you get advantage on your next attack. So if you attack someone, whether you hit or miss, your next one has advantage. And since that one is also an attack, whether it hits or misses, the next one has advantage. And it just is a constant chain. The rogue is very jealous at this point. So that's another new feature. The only other one to really talk about is Epic Boons, which everyone gets at level 19 anyway. And like I said, level 20 you get your 4 attacks. The fighter is still an incredibly simple class. There is no tricks here. Like I mentioned, there's some weapon mastery shenanigans you can play around with, but any marshal can do that, basically. And you got some new stuff to do with Second Wind. And Action Surge got a slight nerf that most fighters don't care about. That's about it, really. For the most part, the fighter is the same. Second Wind is stronger. Action Surge is weaker if you're a caster. Otherwise, it's the same. Weapon masteries are amazing, and you get a lot of them, and they become very varied as the game goes on. Yeah, I think this is great. Oh, and Indomitable, of course. Indomitable is now like the best feature the fighter gets. Big fan of that one. In the later game, it is effectively 3 points of legendary resistance, which is insane. Yeah, thanks. Fighter is great. Fighter is awesome. It's always been awesome, but now with weapon masteries and super Indomitable behind it, It is now, I would argue, one of the strongest classes in the game. I think that with weapon masteries and Indomitable and Action Surge and tactical, Second Wind, Tactical Mind, you can say that the fighter can stand up next to the Paladin or the Barbarian or the Wizard or the Sorcerer for both their utility and their versatility and their strength and their survivability and their resistances. They just kind of get it all. I might argue, like, I love some of the other glow-ups classes have got. The Monk in particular has been awesome. But I think that these little changes to the fighter have taken it from good to incredible. So fighters, very, very happy with the changes. It's basically all buffs. If you're playing a fighter in 2014 and you have the chance to switch to 2024, I would say yes, because there is not a single class feature or subclass feature from all the subclasses that I would call nerfed. Everything is up. It is all coming up fighter. So if you're a fighter main, I think you will like the 2024 rules. They're really good. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more class comparisons coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.